So I would like to get started. So excited to see so many audience members joining us. I'm sure many of you are coming from around the world, some here in the United States. We are really honored to host today's event, All Eyes on Haiti, in collaboration with EqualHealth and the Haitian Bridge Alliance. The Social Justice Initiative at the University of Illinois at Chicago advances social and racial justice by nurturing intellectual insurgency and furthering the production of knowledge that seeks to change the world. I have to introduce myself. My name is Essence McDowell, and I'm the Director of Communications at the Social Justice Initiative. Our work is centered around connecting scholars and activists inside and outside of the university with community-based change agents in our city and globally. We do this through ongoing public programs, public events like this one today, as well as national and local conferences and convenings. A few of our program areas include the Pipeline to Justice Scholarship and Mentoring Program, which we just launched today, and the Social Justice Portal Project. The Portal Project is a collaborative, movement-centered think tank that has brought together over 100 scholars and activists to talk about racial and social justice issues, including climate, economic democracy, and abolition. Today's program has been a beautiful collaborative effort. We originally organized in January, and due to a university strike here at UIC, we had to reschedule. But we knew that this conversation was of the utmost importance. There hasn't been enough national attention on the lives being lost, the political turmoil, the hunger crisis, and the economic devastation that's happening in Haiti. All eyes are not on Haiti right now, but they should be. These overlapping crises deserve national and international attention, resources, and support. This event is about helping people understand the issues facing Haitian communities and Haitian migrants. We collectively decided that it was incredibly important to center the voices of those most impacted. So we're bringing in guest speakers who are living in Haiti right now. And we are incredibly honored to have them join us today and courageously speak out to give us firsthand accounts about the conditions in Haiti and how this is impacting their lives and the lives of their families and their communities. Today's event would not be possible without the full, unwavering hard work and dedication of the SJI staff and the EqualHealth staff. I want to give a very special thank you to Roxana Espos from SJI and Anne-Marie Collins at EqualHealth. We have the opportunity today to not only learn from what is being shared, but to understand the immense importance of Haitian lives and the gravity of the attention that must be on the crisis they're facing. All eyes must be on Haiti as we engage in this discussion and you hear information that shakes you, that awakens you, and that helps you understand what's going on. Please do use the hashtag to share it out. The hashtag is All Eyes on Haiti. And we will also share a list of resources that will help you understand more about the background, the history of Haiti, and the political situation in the country. Please use hashtag All Eyes on Haiti so that we can spread the word and this event reverberates far beyond today. But I'm going to stop there. We have so much to delve into today, and I would like to introduce our moderator for today's event, Michelle Morse. Dr. Michelle Morse serves as the board chair for EqualHealth and founding co-director. Dr. Morse is the inaugural Chief Medical Officer and Deputy Commissioner for the Center for Health and Equity and Community Wellness at the New York Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, where she leads the agency's work in building public health and reducing health inequities, and she serves as a key liaison to clinicians and clinical leaders across New York City. Dr. Morse is an internal medicine and public health doctor who works to achieve health equity through global solidarity, social medicine, and anti-racism education, as well as activism. She is a general internal medicine physician, part-time hospitalist at King County Hospital, and co-founder of EqualHealth, as well as a professor at Harvard Medical School. Let's give a warm welcome to Michelle. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for moving us through today's event.
Thank you so much, Essence, and good afternoon, good evening, and wonderful to be serving in this role as moderator today for this incredibly important conversation. And that's a big part of what I wanted to start with, is saying that this is a conversation. This is a conversation, as Essence said, that must be prioritized right now. And it's a conversation that we hope will move many of you to act. We know that we have a broad audience with us today, and we're so thankful for all of you who are joining us, that you're prioritizing this, that you're making the time to be here. And I have the honor of helping to support the conversation this afternoon or this evening. So we're here because this is the time for us to ensure that all eyes are on Haiti. I have to say that my experiences living and working in Haiti and spending time there starting in 2009 have absolutely transformed me and the way that I show up, not only for advocacy around Haiti, human rights, health justice, and other issues, but how I approach all social justice issues. I owe so much to Haiti in terms of my own evolution as a physician activist and as someone who tries her best to speak up, and stand in solidarity with Haiti. This conversation this evening is the conversation that needs to be had and started, kicked off very much by conversations from folks who are on the ground in Haiti right now. And so I'm going to introduce three panelists in succession to help us get the conversation started. And the first question for the first three panelists is really for them to share with us what they feel the world needs to hear about what is happening in Haiti right now. So the first panelist I'm going to introduce to kick us off is someone who I've known for many years at this point. His name is Dr. Sami Auguste. Dr. Auguste, if you can come on video. Dr. Auguste is a resident in orthopedics and trauma in Haiti. He is co-founder of Social Medicine Alumni Haiti, a Haitian-led health justice organization, and he's also president of Social Medicine Alumni Haiti, also known as SMA. Dr. Auguste, I'm going to pass the mic over to you, and then after your comments on what the world needs to hear about what's happening in Haiti right now, I'll introduce the two other panelists who are kicking us off. Dr. Auguste, over to you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you so much for the staff of SIG. Thank you so much for everything that you have done to allow us to be here today to talk about Haiti, to all eyes on Haiti. Thank you so much that at this moment that we have people who are watching us today. It's a very difficult day for us. Anyone, it's such a difficult day for us. Today it's a day that you hear shooting everywhere. There's shooting all over the place. You're hearing cries. People are crying. You hear today that there are people leaving their homes. It's almost as if we're not humans with the way we're living here. At the level that we're living, it's almost an inhumane level that we're living. And so now that's why we're here today, so we can put Haiti in the space that it is, so people can see and what level Haiti is, so we can see if we can get some help, because people are dying daily. 8 people that are being kidnapped. For each 8 person that is kidnapped, two of those people are professionals. And so what is happening there is, because what happens is we have what's happening is a lot of professionals are leaving because they're so frightened of what is happening. And so the few professionals that are left, the few of them, they're terrified. And so I can't even tell us, I can't even tell you with us that is dealing with this, let alone the people that are not professionals, what they're dealing with. They're asking themselves questions. When they leave their houses, they are terrified of the shootings, of what's happening. And so, in all, I'd like to say at this moment, nothing is working. And so, for you to work, you can leave your house, you go out to the parking lot. By the time you come back, your car is gone, your car is shot up. So, this is the reality in Haiti. You can go and you can be sleeping, the bandits will come in your house, they set the house on fire. And so this is what we're dealing with at the moment in Haiti.
For being with us, for sharing your experience and what you're seeing and what you're hearing and what you want this audience and the world to know about Haiti right now. I'm going to now introduce Ergi. And Ergi, if you can come on video as well, that would be perfect. Ergi Chevalier, Dr. Ergi Chevalier is the next speaker who is going to share with us also what she feels we all need to hear and what the international community needs to hear right now. Dr. Ergi Chevalier is a resident in her social service year. She is the co-representative for the Haiti chapter of the Global Campaign Against Racism of EqualHealth, and she is also the treasurer in Social Medicine Alumni Haiti, also known as SMA. Dr. Chevalier, passing the mic to you.
Merci, Michelle. Merci.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to everyone for this opportunity that I have this opportunity to talk about Haiti. Well, I am very excited to tell you what is happening, to tell you what's happening in my country. At the same time, I feel some type of relief that I can share this with you all. Sometimes when people talk about Haiti, people hear, they think violence, they think poverty. And so actually, what is happening, we have so much going on. Because what happened last year when I was communicating with a colleague of mine who was studying medicine in Africa, he said what he remembers about Haiti is that Haitians will kill each other. And so at that moment, what is happening now today, there's such insecurities in Haiti. We're living in a situation where it is terrible. We are dealing with economic insecurity, the inflation, the monetary inflation, it's at 38.2%. The salary for people who are living in Haiti, it's still $350 to $700 a week, which is not even $5 that it is. And so the situation that is happening, the money, the American dollar is rising while our money keeps getting lower. Our economic situation has so much that is affecting it. We don't have a lot of things that we're producing anymore. We're purchasing all our produces in other countries. So what is happening is that the people that are purchasing those things, that are sending us the money, they're not being used for us. And so what is happening, I want to share the situation that is happening in Haiti, that we are so dependent on other countries. And so what is happening, if you talk about in the cities where the women would come and sell their produces, they're not able to come and do that. They don't have the opportunity to come and sell and get some money so they can take care of their families. They come, but because of insecurities, they're not able to do that anymore. So that adds to the hunger, that adds to the insecurity, and the insecurity keeps rising. And so that has a lot of consequences because our youth, they can't do anything. They can't go to school. They can't find jobs because what happens because of insecurity, they can't go out. They can't leave. So they have to stay home before they can go to school. And also too, the teachers now are discouraged to go to teach because they can't go to teach and they don't have students that are going there. And so what we have is now we have the youth that are suffering. We're dealing with unemployment, and so everyone is now dealing with so much. We have no government in our country, and so we don't know what the solution is. Thank you, Social Justice, that you allowed me to share this with you, and thank you for the work that you're doing to help us. But we need to work together to find a solution. Please.
Thank you, Ergi, for sharing your experience and sharing your perspective on what's happening in Haiti right now. The next speaker in our first round of panelists is Dr. Boutros Ghali-Pierre. Ghali, if you can come on video and join the conversation. Ghali is a project manager in global health. He's a practicing physician. He is a physician at Hôpital Saint-Antoine de Jérémie, so he's in Jérémie right now. He is a member and a founder of Social Medicine Alumni Haiti, SMA, and he's a founder of PDG. It's a nonprofit organization, BEAM, which is a humanitarian organization, and he's an activist and social justice leader. Ghali, please share your experience.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good afternoon, everyone. What I would like to say first is thank you to the initiative, the Social Justice Initiative. I would also like to thank Dr. Michel Morse to allow us this opportunity this afternoon to talk to the world regarding the situation, the horrible situation that Haiti is dealing with at this moment. Well, I'm not going to repeat what my colleagues have already said, but I would like to add a few points that I find that are essential to describe clearly what is happening, this alarming situation that we're dealing with today. We have to say that in the history of Haiti, this is the first time that we have found ourselves where people that are living in the community, that we have, somebody can say today that you can get in your car to go to the beach, or you can go to the movies. That is something that's completely over with. We're living in a country where school is something where a child is asking every day to their father, am I going to school today, Dad? Am I going to school tomorrow? Will I reach university? Because these are uncertain. We're living in a Haiti where today, when someone is leaving their home, you have to put your will. You have to talk to your family. You have to tell them if you have any money left over. You have to tell them everything because you don't know if you're coming back, because you're in the hands of God. Today, not only is insecurity out of hand, because it's happening where the government has completely lost what they're doing. And so what is happening is the government has declared that they don't know what they're doing, that they can't do anything, that every Haitian is for himself. Every Haitian has to defend their own self. That there are some certain sections that they say a person don't go through there. We have been abandoned. When we look at the population that is there, you can't even talk about the professionals, not even the health professionals, but when we're talking about education, the majority of the teachers, the university professors, they have left the country. The people who are not able to leave the country the people who are living in some areas, it's almost that they're refugees in their own countries. It means that they left where they were living, and so they left to go live at someone's house in a country. And then so many times, a lot of young women, due to this, going to stay at people's houses. So these young women have to sell their bodies to be able to find a place to live. They are raped. And so what is happening due to the gangs, a lot of people are unemployed, a lot of people are not working. So therefore, the economic situation has become so precarious now. And so what is happening is now in Port-au-Prince, it is absolutely completely uncontrollable. So now people in the countries, people who live in the country are not able to come to Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of the country, to come and sell things. So the gangs have taken over. Jeremy, where I am, we went into a professor's house that is a well-known professor, and they shot this professor. So all these things have shown that it's caused us to have no psychological stability. So many people are depressed. So many people have dealing with other issues now, mental issues, because they have to leave the country. They have to leave, and so people who are not able to leave the country, they're suffering. However, there are other people who could help. However, those people have entered the gangs to either be able to survive and protect themselves, to either be able to have some means to live and get money. And so the insecurity is what is caused the economic situation. It's made it worse, causing even more poverty. Also, too, you have political instability, and then the irresponsibility of the people that are placed who help the country. So, and all this is the image of what is happening in Haiti today. Thank you.
Thank you, Gali, for sharing your perspective, particularly in Jeremy, which is in the southernmost part of the country, and is quite far from Port-au-Prince as well. So your point about the fact that the violence and insecurity are spreading beyond Port-au-Prince based on your experience is incredibly important. The next phase of our panel, we have 4 panelists who are also going to speak to various historical and current perspectives on the situation in Haiti. Our first 3 speakers, who you just heard from, are 3 people on the ground in Haiti in various parts of the country right now. And the next 4 speakers are people who have a deep connection to a deep connection, either having lived, worked, or been born in Haiti as well. What we're going to hear about from the next round of panelists, and specifically what we're going to hear about from this next round, is perspectives on the history, the situation, and the politics that brought Haiti to the current moment that we're in, and a little bit more about why we are here right now. Why is this a moment when we need all eyes to be on Haiti specifically? And each panelist is going to bring a different perspective on that exact question and the current situation. I also want to highlight the fact that we are going to have a call to action, and we're also going to have some time for discussion and question and answer from the audience. So please do continue to put your questions in the Q&A section. We'll answer some of them as we go. And we will have more dedicated time for discussion and Q&A as well at the end of the panel. So as we turn to our next 4 panelists who are going to talk more about the history, what brought us to the current context, they're going to speak about media, they're going to speak about the migration industrial complex, they're going to speak about the history of Haiti and colonialism and Haiti's incredible independence story. The first of those next 4 panelists is Dr. Tony Esseline. I'm going to ask Dr. Esseline to come on video. Tony Esseline graduated from University of Rochester School of Medicine and Dentistry. She was a chief resident at the Combined Internal Medicine and Pediatrics program at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, Florida. She served as the chief medical officer for a critical care hospital in Port-au-Prince in partnership with nonprofit organizations after the earthquake of 2010. She also served as faculty for internal medicine and pediatrics at University of Miami and started their global health tracks. She created a pediatric residency program in Haiti focused on evidence-based critical care medicine, and she was the first director of the intensive care unit for Partners in Health Hospital in Mirebalais, Haiti, as well as being a program director for the residency programs at Jackson Memorial. Most recently, she was the medical director for the New York market for a tech company called City Block Health, and she currently works as senior medical advisor to the chief medical officer in the New York City Health Department and practices medicine and pediatrics at Strong Children Wellness in Queens, New York. Please share your perspective, Tony, on the current situation in Haiti.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morris. And thank you all for having me and inviting me to this discussion, this really important discussion. I want to reflect a little bit about the conversations that we just heard. These stories we just heard are incredibly hard to hear. And to be honest, I have been extremely emotional the last few weeks trying to process this whole situation. But it is necessary to hear from these heroes who live and breathe through this unjust situation so we can bring home the message that a humanitarian crisis is in progress in Haiti, and we cannot turn a blind eye. We cannot throw up our hands and shrug our shoulders in fatigue and justify it by saying Haiti is a failed state. People live there. My friends live there. And they don't deserve to have to live in fear every single day in a situation that is unjustly imposed on them. In 2013, I co-founded a residency program in pediatrics with colleagues in Haiti that have become friends. While we could be gloriously celebrating our 10th year in supporting the workforce of pediatric care in Haiti, we are mourning the loss of one of the original faculty members of the program who helped shape it, Dr. Geneviève Arti, who was kidnapped in February. When I have asked my friends if they have heard anything, they tell me they cannot even talk about it. It is not only because it hurts us so deeply that this amazing human most likely has been violently and senselessly taken from us, but it is that if they talk about it, the realization that they could be next is more real. The last year has been nothing short of an exercise in monthly breath holding, as several faculty members from the hospital have been kidnapped. These people leave their families every single day, never knowing if they will be back to take care of the most vulnerable in their community with no resources, and they are being punished for it. So, of course, people who have the means to leave. I'm reminded of hearing my family talk about fleeing Haiti during the Duvalier regime when I was younger. The stories of the brutality about fleeing Haiti and the acrobatics that they had to endure to get out. And I remember asking my mom or my dad, I don't quite remember who, well, what happens to the people who cannot leave? Who cares for them? And here we are again. It feels worse. When talking with my friends or family, the conversation often comes up that Haiti is in a civil war and no one is paying attention. No one cares. But what is unique about this civil war, so astutely pointed out by one of my mentors, Jacqueline Gauthier, who also co-founded the residency with me, is that there is only one aggressor. The population is under siege, without arms, without a means to protect themselves, civilians with no other agenda than to live. So instead of accepting the failure of Haiti or the comfort of the shoulder shrug to say Haitians are killing Haitians, are we asking why? Are we asking how? Are we asking who is really benefiting from this chaos and actively supporting it? My final point to share today is that the healthcare system in Haiti was already on life support. And Haiti is losing more professionals because they are either being targeted or they are running for their lives. And then to add insult to injury, if they run for their lives to the United States of America, they are greeted with cages and with anti-Black racism. They don't deserve that. We owe Haiti. What Haiti has given to us as Black people in America, Haitians in America, and Black people in the world, we wouldn't exist in this world the way we exist today, in freedom, if it wasn't for Haiti's courage from 1791 to 1804. We don't have the right to turn our backs. We owe Haiti. We owe Haiti. We owe it to her to love her and support her lead unconditionally in getting out of this mess that has roots in the fact that she is being punished for daring to reject white supremacy. Thanks. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Toni, for those powerful words, for being with us this evening to help us reflect collectively on how we got here, on how Haiti arrived here. So next up in our panel, and again, if you're just joining, thank you for making time. Thank you for being with us this evening. We initially heard from 3 speakers. We heard from Sami Auguste, we heard from Ergie Chevalier, and we heard from Gali Pierre about their experiences living and working right now in Haiti, in the Central Plateau, in Port-au-Prince, in Jérémie in the South. We heard from them directly about what they're seeing on the ground in Haiti, living in Haiti, and what they want the world to know about what's happening in Haiti right now. And now we're currently in the second part of our panel, where we're hearing from panelists who have deep connections to Haiti. We just heard from Toni Esseline, and we have 3 more panelists that we're going to hear from who are going to share more about how we got here, how Haiti arrived here, and more context on the history and why we are here, why Haiti is where it is right now. So the next person, the second person in part 2 of the panel that I'm going to introduce right now is Dr. Yuri Louis. Yuri, if you can come on video to join the conversation and contribute. Yuri is a physician who trained in Haiti and is a founding member of a local Haitian organization working for health equity and social justice, which is called SOCHMED Alumni Haiti, SMA. He is the former Haiti chapter representative for the Global Campaign Against Racism of EqualHealth, and he's currently a board member and on the leadership committee of EqualHealth. Yuri, I'm passing the mic to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. I will be speaking in Creole, so let's get back to Haiti right now. C'est avec un pile.
So it's with
un pile la peine,
a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, and also with a lot of hope that we are participating in this conversation today. Just like we heard it, just like how the situation is, how the context, the socio-economical context is, the political context is, we have to understand why Haiti is at this point today, and we have to understand why it's important to have reparations to these people that are traumatized, that are suffering for generations because of structural forces that are destroying and continue to cause a lot of suffering in the world and also in Haiti as a country. And if we are going back in history, we see that since Christopher Columbus discovered Haiti, there were a lot of Indians on the island that would die afterwards because of slavery, because of hard labor that they went through, that they were submitted to by the European countries, especially Spain, where they had to import a lot of Africans to continue the work, to continue to stay productive so that they can get rich. And the Haitian people is very resilient. They are strong, they're resistant. And they would put themselves together. They would join forces to say, no, we are going to stop this injustice. We want to be independent, and we are going to fight to get our independence. And because of that, we had with the Bataille Vertière, they took the arms and they took their independence. So this independence became a weight that we had to carry, because since after the independence, a lot of countries put embargo on Haiti, sanctions on Haiti, because we are a black nation, and we said no, we would not stay in slavery. And Haiti's independence, other nations saw it as an obstacle for white supremacy. And after the independence, not only they forced us to pay in order to recognize our independence, but we also had to pay reparations to the colonists, to the French, that were exploiting, that were violating these people for generations. We had to pay, and because with the estimation that we have today, that the reparations, it continued to eat us. It continued to destroy us as a nation. It's a debt that is worth 115 billions to this day. So these are different aspects that you have to know about Haiti's history to understand why these people, this nation is suffering, is in this civil war that it is today. And we can understand that the United States, this country, they never recognized Haiti's independence until it was 1862, and to recognize, to accept it, it meant to abolish slavery in their own countries, because they still had it. And the independence in Haiti, as the first black nation that was free in the West Hemisphere, it was an attack to all the racism, to all the acts of white supremacists on black people. And this was the reason why, this is the reason why we are in this situation today. And we can see that Haiti, the United States continued to include themselves in anything that has to do with Haiti, so that they can exploit, so that they can suck out the resources of the country. We can see that before the U.S. occupation, President Woodrow Wilson, he asked a group of Marines to go to Haiti to take the national bank as a hostage, and to extract 500,000 American dollars to go against countries like France and Germany, who had the intentions to install themselves in the country. So afterwards, in 1915, Haiti was occupied by the U.S., the United States, and the trauma continued, the suffering continued.
since the Americans occupied Haiti, they are the ones who decide the taxes, the companies that are financing, and they would privatize a lot of companies that are keys to the development and development of the country. So all of these are things that continue to cause a circle of resource extraction and structural inequality, because the country now is in a situation where they cannot be free from the pressure of debt, like the World Bank, the FMI, the World Fund, where they continue to extract resources and they continue with this circle of debt, of international debt on the country. So how we are speaking today, the Haiti and the situation that they owe $2.6 billion to the international world. So we're talking about Haiti, where there's in a situation where they don't have resources. We have gangs in all the areas. We have internal migration, where people leave the area where they live to go hide in different in other regions, and there are people that are leaving the country to go hide in other countries. So the country is totally uncontrollable, and a chaos, and a profound chaos, and a circle that continues to be alimented from guns that come from Haiti, that continue to feed the chaos in Haiti. And no media is talking about that. They don't put that in their headlines. So today, you who are here who want to understand why it is important to repair these acts, this injustice that were caused to Haiti, which is why, because today we are in this situation that we are today. Thank you very much. I'll pass the microphone to Michelle.
Merci un peu, Yuri. Thank you, Yuri, for those words, for those very powerful, very clear words, and for describing some of the things that brought us to this moment, some of the situations that brought us to this moment in Haiti. We're going to continue with two more reflections from panelists, from two new panelists, two additional panelists. We're then going to ask for all of the panelists to come back on screen and to talk about various calls to action. And then we're going to open it up for more discussion and question and answer. I know that many questions are coming in through the Q&A. Please do continue to put your questions in the Q&A. I will moderate the discussion and make sure that we group the questions together and get into as much discussion and response from the panelists as we can. So thank you again for being with us. Thank you for making the time to learn more about what's happening in Haiti right now and why Haiti is in the current moment that it is in, and the ways in which the international community has and has not contributed to the situation. And speaking of which, our next panelist is a leading human rights advocate who's going to speak even more to that directly. Gerline Joseph, if you can come on video with us. Gerline is a leading human rights advocate who dedicates her life to bringing awareness to issues that affect us all, locally and globally, such as immigration, domestic violence, child sexual abuse, and other human rights issues. She's the co-founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, HBA, a US-based nonprofit organization that advocates for fair and humane immigration policies. HBA provides migrants and immigrants with humanitarian deportation defense, legal and social services. It has a particular focus on Black immigrants from the Caribbean and Africa, the Haitian community, women and girls, LGBTQA+ individuals, and survivors of torture and other human rights abuses. Gerline is the co-founder of the Black Immigrants Bail Fund and the Cameroon Advocacy Network. Ms. Joseph was named one of Politico's 2021 40 Most Influential People on Race, Politics, and Policy in the United States for her leadership, and is the recipient of previous awards, most recently the Las Americas 2021 Border Heroes Award, the 2021 Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Award, the 2022 National Haitian American Elected Officials Network Community Champion Award, and the 2022 American Immigration Lawyers Association Arthur C. Helton Human Rights Award. Gerline, I'll turn it over to you to share more about the historical, earthquake, and human rights perspective. It looks like perhaps Gerline is there. I see you. Okay, thank you, Gerline.
My apologies. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having really bad internet connection here.
That's okay. We can hear you.
I don't know where to start. I know, I had something planned, and of course, after hearing my colleagues, the people in Haiti, sharing what's happening on the ground, and really bringing Dr. Tony and Dr. Yuri speaking on how we get to where we are and the realities, right, of extreme anti-Black racism and white supremacists and colonialism and all of those. I will address a few things, but before I do so, I will ask if we can take just one moment to reflect and really center the lives we have lost to the recent gang violence, to the recent conditions we are living in Haiti right now. Almost every person on this panel have either experienced through families, friends, relatives, colleagues in Haiti that have been kidnapped or killed. If we can take just one moment of silence to remember those who have lost their lives through this extreme violence, both internal and external, both that are in Haiti and those that are being imported to Haiti. So if you will please just take one moment of silence to remember, to center, and to honor those who have lost their lives. If that's okay. Thank you so much again. And I was trying to not be crying, because it seems as if this is all I've been doing lately. But this is real. We are at a point where the tears are not enough. The prayers are not enough. Lives are being lost as we are speaking. Doctors unable to care for the sick because they cannot leave their homes to go to the hospital to care for those people. Children unable to go to school because they could be kidnapped or killed on the way there. Farmers are unable to farm because they have nowhere that is safe. People can flee Port-au-Prince to go to Fort-Jacques. They cannot do that anymore. People could flee Port-au-Prince to go to Jeremy. That's not an option. You just heard from the doctor that they just killed somebody not too far from where he is. As we continue to look into those realities and look into the history of how we get to where we are, we must pause, step back, and think, what will the next steps be? We understand we are fighting with forces that are created and designed and continue to work to destroy Haiti, to destroy us as a people, as a country, because we dare to exist. And we continue to say that our very existence is an act of resistance, not just for us, but for all people. As Dr. Tony mentioned, we owe a debt to Haiti. What are we going to do now? When people are saying Haiti is a failed state by whose design? We must come to a point when we look into the root causes of this insecurity, of this gang violence. The fact that we are not able to feed ourselves, as one of our doctors mentioned, where we have to import the very basic necessity that we as a people need to survive in Haiti. So we heard a lot of the historical realities from both Tony and Yuri. So I'm not going to go back into that. But we could address what needs to happen now, what needs to be rebuilt. Because what we are witnessing is a symptom of the real cancer. And we are thinking, if we have a young boy, he's 15, he is unable to go to school, he's unable to eat, his parents are unable to go to work. If they are sick, they cannot go to the hospital. There is no infrastructure. There is not an ecosystem where he can even survive. And if somebody comes and gives them $10 in a machine gun, in a gun, and tell them to go do those acts, that is the only option for that kid. So what needs to happen right now as we look into the history and where we are right now, we have to push for a sustainable ecosystem in Haiti that addresses the root causes of the violence and the root causes of internal displacement in Haiti and forced migration outside of Haiti. We must make sure we look into building schools, proper schools, and universities. We need to make sure we revamp and enforce the agriculture sector. We must make sure we create a sustainable healthcare. We must make sure that we have infrastructures and roads so that we can decentralize Port-au-Prince. As one of the panelists mentioned, the Republic of Port-au-Prince, to make sure other parts of the country, such as Jeremy, Cap-Haïtien, Jacmel, and others, can sustain themselves in addition to Port-au-Prince. So that we can start to be able to dismantle the insecurity that is an effect of the real issues. We saw mass migration after the earthquake in 2020, in 2010. Over 250,000 people died that day. Until today, we continue to see the impact of that. We saw a next flow of migration out of Haiti, forced migration, forced displacement of people making a journey, crossing the entire South and Central America to come to Mexico, living in subhuman conditions, seeking safety and protection. And we must address the fact that the international community is in a great part responsible, and I repeat, responsible for what we are witnessing and what the people in Haiti are living right now. I am done with the talking. We must act, and those actions must be centered in the lives of impacted people in Haiti, follow their leadership in making sure a sustainable ecosystem is created where people can not just survive, but thrive in Haiti so they do not have to flee. My cousin just got killed a few days ago in Forjac. That's a reality. Forjac is a place that we can say that you could escape to where things are really bad in Port-au-Prince or in Pétionville. Not only that, it is sacred ground. This is a place where we have a fort that was built by our ancestors to defend the country. But today, the blood of those people are seeping through the land in Forjac. So we must address the root causes of displacement, the root causes of this insecurity and gang violence, the sources of those arms and those ammunitions, the sources of the money that's being poured into the communities to destabilize. As we all know, the system is working exactly how it was designed to work. Haiti dared to exist. Haiti dared to fight. Haiti dared to free herself and all people. It is time that we pay her back. It is time we pay for reparation. It is time we pay for the stolen goods. It is time that we dismantle white supremacy, anti-Black racism that is at the root of what we are experiencing in Haiti right now. But I will say, nous là toujours, we are still here. Nous ap levé, we will rise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gerline, for your words. Thank you for your courage. We all mourn the loss of your cousin, and we can't thank you enough for being here this evening, despite all of that. We do want to also lift up the role of the media in describing and communicating what is happening in Haiti right now and why Haiti is where it is, and to speak particularly to that point around media and media portrayals. Our fourth panelist in this kind of second part of the panel, I'm going to call Manushka Celeste to video now. If you can come on video, Manushka. Manushka Celeste is Associate Professor in Gender and Women's Studies. She's a Black feminist communications and media scholar. Her transnational and diasporic research focuses on media representations of Black women, immigrants and immigration, and tourism, with emphasis on the Caribbean and Black diaspora, particularly Haiti. Her publications include the book Race, Gender, and Citizenship in the African Diaspora, Traveling Blackness, winner of the 2018 National Communication Association Diamond Anniversary Book Award, and What Now? The Wailing Black Woman, Grief and Difference in Black Camera. Manushka Celeste's scholarship appears in academic journals, anthologies including the Journal of Haitian Studies, as well as in public venues including Spark, Elevating Scholarship on Social Issues, and the Seattle Times. She also writes about women of color mentoring, having created and directed mentoring programs for first-generation students for 9 years. She has won college-wide awards for mentoring and research. in 2021 and 2022. Celeste is a co-principal investigator for the Social Justice and Human Rights Cluster. I'll pass it over to you, Manushka, to speak more.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I may have the quote unquote easiest part, and I really just want to thank Gerline for her talk and I think really for me setting a different tone for how I'll approach this. And so thank you for the chance to be here and for my colleagues for their important insights and analysis. And so I'll spend my time really talking about how the world imagines Haiti and Haitians and how we're represented in media. And so I want to offer a few points for those who are not as familiar with Haiti or not Haitian. Hopefully I'm okay with the internet. Am I good?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
I keep getting a flash and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what's happening? And so for folks less familiar, but it's also an invitation to everyone to continuously think about the role that these images play in how we understand people who are us and people who are not us. So this work itself really comes from my own experience as a Haitian-born but U.S.-trained journalist who find myself in a newsroom unable to intervene and interrupt the very solidified ways that the stories that include Haitians in Haiti appear. So do know that everything about the news gathering process and the editing process makes the stereotypes possible and the norm. And so thinking about media engagement with Haiti, I begin with the idea, the understanding that media serves as an extension of the state. Right? There's different countries have different histories, but for the most part, it speaks to what the state believes, right? And so if you look at coverage from different countries, you'll get hints about that country's investments, its interests, and its belief. And media generally has an ethnocentric focus, so it's ethnocentric in nature, which means that the stories that the journalists and other producers tell you really say more about who they are than they do about the people that they're representing. And for example, I did work with the New York Times, which is a part of the US's elite press. This is where political ideology is reinforced, right? So I really want to hold the role of media as a part of the state and working through the state's ideologies. And so the stories that we encounter sort of about other countries show up and then they disappear, right? So one day you'll have a story about Haiti, the next day you won't. And so we are in one of these moments where there's little to no coverage. A few months back, there was some coverage. And so that is also a part of this the bigger issue. And again, the stories that we get are framed around and framed from the perspective of the U.S. and or the interests of those places. And what determines which stories get told? So we get taught news values, right? And so if I will slow down, news values. And so if a story has a connection to this country or another country or has an extraordinary angle, there's a higher likelihood that it will get coverage. And so when you see stories in the US press, or if you're in Canada and the Canadian press, or if you're somewhere else in that press, it's because there is a connection to that place. And so what does this look like? What does coverage of Haiti look like? And one of the things for me is that we do not get nuanced stories and we do not get complete pictures. In fact, the stories that we get are skewed to that perspective, right? So really understanding what shapes the stories we get and how they show up. And so media very broadly in how it portrays members of immigrant groups and the original originating country, the countries of origin, really exceeds its mandate to just report, right? And so the coverage reports legislation, but it also actively shapes the national debate. So if you're paying attention to years ago when we were told that, immigrants from these kinds of countries are preferred to immigrants from these other kinds of countries. And in that context, it was sort of Black versus non-Black. And then you see the policies come after that, right? So the coverage in many ways precedes and informs some of the policies, which then inform our experiences as people who migrate or have migrated. The stories about Haiti often show up with Haitians being framed as a threat. Immigrants in general are framed as a threat, right? A mass of people flooding these borders. And so that's an important part of that narrative that we should pay attention to. In stories about migrations, Haitians are also often described as refugees, where other groups of people are described in other terms, right? So people in exile, people who are seeking asylum, but using refugee does, again, something very specific rhetorically. Haitians in the process of migrating are also represented as fundamentally different than those who are in the US, for example, or in other places. And this is a part of why it becomes so difficult to push back against the very anti-Black, anti-Haitian policies, is because the language of the law is vague, but the images that come with the stories are actually very, very, very clear. These stories tend to depersonalize, and so you often see people shown in groups. Very few people are named or given named in the stories. And so if you recall the days-long coverage of Haitians at the US-Mexico border, this is really quintessential to all of these frames, right, as a threat, as refugees versus asylum seekers, as fundamentally different, right? As a mass threat. Haitians in the U.S. as well as Haitians in Haiti are framed broadly as poor, right? And a part of this comes from the infamous quote of, when they say Haiti, comma, right, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, which offers no context, right, which offers no information about how some countries have and continue to extract Haiti's resources or support those entities that extract Haiti's resources. You just hear about this quote unquote poorest country without any of the context about the drain on its economy and its resources. The stories are incomplete, and the questions that I ask for you to consider as you're thinking about or watching media coverage about Haiti in places that have similar coverage is: how do foreign interventions, neoliberal global economic policies shape people's everyday lives? How do we all participate in the economic marginalization of some countries in the name of globalization? And as global access to goods and capital increases for some, right, as we celebrate the technologies allowing us to travel very quickly, who cannot move freely around the world? Right? These are some of the questions that I hope will linger. And so in preparing for this and some other work, I revisited images and stories from 15 and 30 years ago, and I see echoes. And so the stories, the repertoire of images, they recycle regardless of the context. And this is not because Haiti itself is frozen in time, right? We know that's not the case. But the writers of these stories have a very fixed understanding of Haiti as a place and Haitians as a people, often represented as monolithic, even though we know that we are multiple and diverse, even within the country and within the diaspora. So I'm going to offer you just an example of I get hate mail when I write public stories about Haiti. I get hate mail, which is great. And a part of this I want to read is because this person claims to be a journalist, right? So in a letter to the editor, in response to my article about the coverage of the earthquake, which, if you recall, was pretty gruesome, Steve Kruger, who says he is a retired journalist and he represents an organization that works with media professionals, he writes, and I'll read this quote: "The job of a reporter is to present reality, not spin. Accurately telling a story, not even a distasteful one, is not part of some great social experiment. It is a service to a democracy, a democratic society." And in the case of democratic society, he's talking about the U.S., right? And I'll continue the quote. "Even before the quake, Haiti was a wretched place that the world ignored. I know. I spent time there in the early 1980s as a reporter. That history cannot be changed by simple wishful thinking." So the Steves of the world, the Steves of journalism, the Steves in media, they're the ones who are telling Haiti's story to the public. Racist, colonial Steve, right? Steve, who probably has not read Fanon, who probably has not read any Haitian scholars. Steve likely wrote these stories from his hotel room, right? There's jokes about journalism from hotel rooms. They don't actually go in and report. They just get reports from where they are. And so we have to question the source of the news that we're getting and the very notion of journalistic objectivity. So Steve argues that journalists tell the story without bias, but his words exemplify the bias and reinforces the need for us to reinterpret the ways that we think about and encounter the news that we do get, especially about Haiti. There's been a long-standing There's been a long-standing There's been a long-standing commitment to representing Haiti as a failed nation, right? And so I look at stories from 20 years ago, right? And it's the exact same kind of narrative. And I appreciate Gerline's comment where she says, by whose design? And so there's one story that I'll just read a tiny piece of it where they say diplomats call Haiti a failed nation. And is my sound okay? There's no sound. A failed nation.
I can hear you, Manushka.
Okay. I think they're having a hard time on the other side. A nation done in by dictators and disasters. And so they go on and say, in a country where nothing works, the group looks after 2,000 people, and continue on to really describe Haiti as a place that is going to, quote unquote, slide off into the sea. And the language, colorful as it is, really is about describing Haiti as a place that will cease to exist, right? A place that has no agents and no agency. And only nature, right? And that it will fall into the sea. And so I'll end just with a few of these words that, we talk about what's happening in Haiti now and the stories about Haiti now, but we have to know that there is a really long history of media representing Haiti in these very sort of same terms. And for us to ask, right, like, and my colleagues have asked this, who benefits, right? Who benefits from these stories? Who benefits from these crises? And why such a commitment to always representing Haiti, regardless of the time period, as a failed state? And so for those of us whose home was, or will be Haiti, it's sliding, quote unquote, sliding off into the sea is not an option. And for those of us who belong to the broader African diaspora, so here I'm just talking to Black folks, right? Haiti's past and the future of Haiti is inseparable from yours and from ours. And Audre Lorde reminds us of this when we learn about the invasion of Grenada and how closely it's tied to the experience of Black folks elsewhere. And so while resisting imperialist colonialist narratives and impulses, we do need to seek opportunities to follow the lead of Haiti-based organizers, and also to seek opportunities to learn about Haiti now and Haitian history through sources outside of the mainstream Western media and Western academia. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manushka, for those words. Thank you for bringing a critical lens to media and communications. It is much needed. Really appreciate your words. We're now going to spend the next few minutes on calls to action from all of our panelists. So I'm going to ask all of the panelists to please come on video. If you're able, please come back on video, turn your video on. We'll have all of the panelists on the video screen at this point. And we want to start with the call to action coming from our colleagues who are on the ground in Haiti as we speak. So that would be Sami Auguste, Hergé Chevalier, Gali Boutros Gali Pierre. We'd like to start with the three of you and ask you if you could tell the audience, share with us, particularly being in Haiti, in different regions across the country right now. Can you tell us what you want the international community to do right now? What is your demand from the international community and the audience that's here with us today? Maybe we can start with Sami and then do Hergé and then Gali, since that was the order that we started with, if that's okay.
Thank you so much, Michelle. As I was saying before, it's a situation that really puts tears in your eyes. And when you see in this moment right now, and as we're talking about Haiti, it puts tears in your eyes. It brings water to your eyes. Yes, we're talking and we are talking, the way we're talking, we're so sad, we're so upset. We really, really need the international community to help us. Because here, there's no situation, there's nothing. The media can't help us, the police can't help us, we can't do anything. And so, really, we are alone. And so what we think, what we believe is, maybe if we have the community, the Haitian community, or other people in the communities, you guys are able to help us and bring about such change. If you can help and communicate with the UN, with the United Nations, to see if there's a way to save this country, because the situation of insecurity has caused so much fear. People are dying left and right. Children can't go to school. Schools that should be one of the fundamental things to help a country move forward, schools are closed until, and we don't know until when. We don't know when the situation will end. And so for me, maybe we need to have a sit-in with the community, the international community, so that way we can see that everyone can get together to ask for help, to see if things can change. Thank you.
Merci, Sami. We'll pass it to you, Hergé.
Merci, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Me personally, this meeting that is happening in the international community, what I would like to say is the situation of insecurity in Haiti, you guys can help us, because the people that are financing the guns in Haiti is the international people. And so they're buying guns, they're sending them to Haiti. You need to stop those people that are buying these guns and sending them to Haiti. The people that are making it where what is happening is the politics of where the Haitians are leaving this country, leaving and not coming back. Give them a way to think of this country as a country that deserves to be stayed in and to not leave. And so now the word escapes me at the moment, but if there's something that I would like to ask is also to save Haiti from depending on so much economics from other countries. That's the only way to free the community, to free the Haitian people. Please help us with the debt. If we solve the debt issue, show us. Please help us. Show us how to get rid of these debt that we are in. And that is what is causing us to stay here, because if we don't, then we will never be able to move forward. Please, we need to move forward and get away from these economic independence that we're in. And so every government that comes through, what they do is they come and they take everything. This is why we're not able to move forward.
Thank you, Urfi. And Gali.
Yes, what I'd like to say, when we consider that today we have this core group, we have to figure out who is making the decisions for Haiti. When we look today, there is no democracy anymore. There's no institution, there's no presidency, there's no parliament. The judicial system is not working. And so when we consider what is happening, the power that the diaspora has, when we consider the organizations that are helping the rights of people, especially the international community, I am calling to all of you. I'm calling to diaspora. I am calling all the people that are in the organizations that are defending the rights of humans against justice, social injustice. I would like for you to figure out to help us to see how we can put together to pressure to see if we can start a movement to make sure that everyone looks to Haiti. And so now, because of what is happening here, but maybe with the national, with international powers that you guys have, you have a lot of power. And to show that there is a group of humans in Haiti. These people are human, that they are in Haiti. And so I hope that now you who are part of all these organizations who help defend the rights of people, the rights of humans, that to say, and I know that you in the diaspora, that you are there in the countries that you are in, where there is such respect for rights, there is such respect for laws. And so I am hoping that you can help. And so maybe if you can do that, if you could start this movement, hopefully start putting it out on social media, maybe it will go in front of the ambassadors, maybe it will go in front of the United Nations. Please, to show, as you're doing now, to talk about all eyes on Haiti. Keep showing all eyes on Haiti.
Thank you to our first three panelists for those reflections. We have just a couple more minutes for calls to action before we start to answer the questions. There's some very, very powerful questions in the chat. So thank you to all the participants who are still with us and who put questions in the chat. We're going to get into those questions in just a moment. We have just another couple of minutes for calls to action. So between Tony, Yuri, Gerlin, and Manushka, are there any calls to action that you want to share very briefly before we go into the Q&A?
Merci en pile, Michel, et merci en pile.
Thank you very much, Michel. Thank you so much to all my colleagues, to all my partners for their courage. I think that we are at a point where we cannot say that what is happening in Haiti doesn't concern us in Haiti, in Canada and the United States. We need to understand that the link between the death of George Floyd and the United States is the same link. It leads to what it has to do with what is happening in Haiti, because how these forces are continuing to perpetuate violence in the lives of Black people. So we need to understand that. And also, we do not have an answer to say that yes, this is the solution to the problem in Haiti. We don't have that, but we can say that the solution is something that's supposed to be collective. It's something that has to come from the heart, and it's something that it has to be done in solidarity. So this is a program that EqualHealth has. We try in the way we can to help to support the local communities, to reinforce the capacity of the local institutions, so that they can reinforce the communities where they live. Because we think that the solution for the change in the country is not going to come from an American or a Canadian or a Chinese. The solution is going to come from the Haitians that are living in the country. And when we think about that, we realize how they don't have enough resources, enough power to make the change that they need to do. We and the international, what we can do, we can reinforce their local capacities. We can reinforce the capacity of the organization. And this program that we have, and EqualHealth, is humble. It's a humble program. We don't have a response to the problem or a solution, but we think that if we have a solidarity spirit with collective support, we can put our hands together and reinforce the local communities with the resources from the international, with the participation of each person, where this can help us continue to help the local organizations that are fighting for health equity, for social justice. And we think that this is the only we think that this is the only solution. We cannot bring the solution to them, so we have to give them the resource, and with their availability and their engagement, they can bring the results that we are waiting for. So you think that this is a noble action, this is a program that can really bring change, as we are supporting the local organizations. And I'm sure they're going to drop the links in the chat, so that we can continue to support, to try to reinforce the most we can the local organizations, to give them the resources that they need, because we are not gonna go do it. I'm gonna say it again. It's them with the resources that they need and they have. They will create power. They will have more organizational capacity, so that they can bring change to the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yuri.
I just wanted to add certain things to Yuri's statement, is that even the same spirit that gave us 1804 is still here.
I wanted to add to what Yuri just said. And the reality, the message is the same spirit that gave us 1804, that gave us the new world that we know today, that gave freedom, liberty for all humankind. The same ideology that the world is striving to be today is what Haiti represents. So that same spirit is still there. And if people from different African tribes were taken, enslaved, beaten, raped, trying to take every ounce of humanity from them, were able to come together, create a new identity, a new language, a new nation. What nothing is impossible for us. And the mental enslavement that we find ourselves in right now, those chains can be broken. A new 1804 is coming. The international community will have to reckon with a new 1804 because those same spirit, those same fight for freedom and liberty, for Black liberation, for all people still lives in Haiti. So there is nothing that can be and will be done to stop that new revolution. And that is what the world is fearful of and continue to make an example of and out of Haiti. Haiti is not a failed state. Haiti will never be a failed state. Haiti is enslaved in a way by economic empower, continue, as my other colleagues mentioned, having the foot and the knees of the international communities on the neck and the back of Haiti. So with that, I have hope. With that, I know that we will be and we will continue to fight for that very basic ideology. Merci, Bill.
Thank you for that, Gerline. And thank you for that as well, Yuri. Thank you, Sami, Erji, Gali. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Manushka. What a powerful, intense, very difficult, but also very inspiring conversation. There are about 20 or so questions came in over the course of the past hour and a half. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I've grouped them into about 5 questions, and we've got about 10 or 15 minutes left with you all before we need to close out. So please stick with us as we answer the questions. I'm going to ask the panelists to answer the questions if you feel so moved to do so. But no need for every panelist to weigh in for every question since we're running a little short on time. As I've grouped the questions, the first thing I'll ask is several people in the Q&A box asked about the status of the Haitian government, and different panelists covered this a little bit. But if anyone could speak a little bit to the status of the Haitian government, and specifically, there are questions about Moise, Henri, and then regional differences in how the Haitian government is showing up and how the current situation is experienced. So if anyone wants to react to that, please do. Yes, I don't know if I can speak. So today, Haiti, unfortunately, has a government that is de facto government, which means that it's not a government that is legitimate. So unfortunately, this is because of the death of Jovenel Moïse, who nominated Ariel, who in this moment, unfortunately, was not yet installed. So today, because of the intervention of certain ambassadors, just like the U.S. ambassador who put Ariel, so he doesn't really have there's no we don't have the control of the government. We don't have who can who can call up a first minister if something is not working well. So this is a totalitarian power. So what happened is that unfortunately the ministers that are there that probably don't have enough power and authority to make decisions and to push the brakes for the country. So in the country's constitution, they said that to have a decision made in the House, in the Parliament,
for example, we see that they asked for a military intervention in Haiti. So this made a lot of debate, and they think that it's because the government that is here doesn't have enough authority to ask a military intervention. This is one. Secondly, when it comes to the security, the economy, this is a government that probably wants to let time go by so that they can keep the power, the status quo. So the question of election, it's not in the agenda. We don't know when we're gonna have elections or not. So this is the situation that we have today, faced with an illegitimate government that is incompetent and that is reproducing what the ambassador is asking them to do, because they're serving the ambassador but not the Haitian population.
Thank you for that, Gali. And just another note, even if we can't get to every question, we won't get to every question today, we are going to be sharing more resources and follow-up, and hope that everyone will continue to learn through those resources. There were a number of questions that have come up that are more oriented, I would say, towards action and solution. One of those questions that came up is the new program that was created under the Biden presidency for humanitarian parole. There were questions about what's the status of that program. Is it a program that people here in the panel and in the organizations represented today are a part of? I'm not sure if anyone wants to comment on the humanitarian parole program that the United States government recently opened.
You're on mute, Gillian. You're on mute.
Gerline, can you unmute? We can't hear you yet. You can also try in the chat if you can't.
I'm trying to unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Désolé, apologies. Internet est vraiment faible.
I'm sorry, my internet connection is very
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think my internet dropped. I try to answer after because my internet. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, wonderful. Yes, for the parole program, Haitian Bridge Alliance continues to work to highlight and fight to get as many people as possible. I am going to be absolutely honest. We have more requests for from folks in Haiti and around the world looking for sponsors than we have sponsors that are willing and able to support. So we continue to try to find ways to support. If you have questions specifically regarding the parole program, please send an email to info@haitianbridge.org, info@haitianbridge.org. That is info@haitianbridge.org, and we will respond to you. But the problem is we unfortunately have thousands of people reaching out asking for help, and we have a handful of people willing to sponsor Haitians right now. But we are fighting for everyone.
Thank you for that, Gerline. And Essence just put the email address in the chat for all of the participants to see as well. We'll make sure it's in the follow-up resources. Thank you for that. There was a question about the state of healthcare and what some of the urgent needs are in terms of healthcare and what support could be offered for shoring up the healthcare system in this time of crisis.
I mean, I can share from what I know from my colleagues in the hospital at St. Damian's, everything. Human resources obviously are lacking, materials, you know, the stop and go with the gas and the electric, like all of that affects healthcare, right? You can't have a running hospital when you don't have all of those things to operate the actual hospital, right? And so everything, materials, medications are low. You know, before insecurity got really bad, one of my good friends started a clinic out in the south of Haiti, and they had a big, you know, opening, and was so excited to finally go back to her homeland in the south of Haiti, and she's been stopped. She's been stopped with the work because everything comes through Port-au-Prince, you know? And I think, you know, the one thing that's really upsetting is that we had this whole conversation about decentralizing Haiti after the earthquake in 2010, and it didn't happen. And so, you know, I think these are the things that need to happen. Things need to be reorganized, and Port-au-Prince being the center of the country. Now, we don't have time to get into it, but that was an American thing. That was an American desire and design. It shouldn't be that way. And it didn't start that way. So, yeah, healthcare is precarious. Folks, you know, again, I'm going to use the word hero, those doctors who are in there, the nurses that are going to work every single day to take care of patients when they don't have beds for them. You know, they don't have meds. You have to watch people die prematurely in front of you. It was already bad before this, and this is just not helping. So everything. So donate to whatever healthcare organization that's trying to make a difference. You know, these are the ways that you can help. Stop being tired of hearing about Haiti. Like, cut it out. Get energized. Wake up with us, and take up the arm that you need to take up to fight this. You know, the proverbial one, not the actual one. But you know, we have to not get tired, and we need to be unified in what we think we need to do to support Haitians to lead them out of this, to help them lead themselves out of this, you know, actively.
Thank you, Tony, and also thank you again to the three physicians who are on the ground in Haiti. Sami, Elgie, Gali, thank you for your work and your service in what are very, very challenging conditions. Sami, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add, in the health area, because of the security situation that we have in Haiti, we only have one public hospital that is functioning in the country, which is Hôpital La Paix, and we are really overwhelmed when it comes to resources. Just like the doctor said, we are very limited, and we can prevent with this situation, this insecurity, how many cases of AVC, of cardiopathy that we have, and a lot of people that are leaving their house, and all these people we're gonna go back to this cholera problem. So just to show you how the situation is precarious, and any help is welcomed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have two more questions for the panelists. We'll finish up in just a couple minutes with those, and then we'll have our closing. So the first question, several of you in the Q&A asked about organizations to follow that are doing this work, that are organizing around this. People also mentioned the names of several organizations: the United Nations, General Assembly, Amnesty International, Médecins Sans Frontières, Zami la Santé. These organizations were mentioned, and folks were asking how are they working together to have an impact. And also, is there an opportunity to do the kind of organizing that happened in South Africa to end apartheid, for multilateral, international, and other national organizations to come together to put forward statements, to advocate, etc. So I'll pause there, and then the final question is about reparations. But let's talk about the international organizations first.
Okay, I think I will go. I can say first we have to pay attention to what international organization we want to donate, because from what we've seen and experienced in 2010 after the earthquake, we know that we had a lot of promise, but at the end of the day, less than 3% of all the many promise were distributed to the Haitian government. So we need to pay attention to what organization is really working for Haitian communities and what organization is really working for their own growth and capital and interest. So that's one thing. And the other thing is to be able to address some of those issues that we have highlighted. We must have a really collaborative approach that gather partnerships, organizations from, working in Miobale and Port-au-Prince and remote areas to get together and say, okay, what can we do together? And sometimes the struggle of those organizations are mostly funding, because when you have resource, you have power, right? And when you have power, you can make change. But if people's eyes are out of Haiti, because of different perceptions of Haitians, because people are seeing Haitians right now as a threat. Haitians trying to migrate to the US, Canada, Dominican Republic, you are a threat to the community, right? And people are placing barriers to us as Haitians to kind of migrate. And those are the consequences of racism, racial capitalism, and all the big structures that we know. So at the end of the day, the final answer would be really build local trust. What are organizations that are really empowering local communities to, address local issues by themselves, not going and raising money on the local communities and then get all the interest by themselves. So I think we have to be careful about where we give our money and how they are used. So I think that's what I can add.
And I can say very, very briefly, I shared two. One is Haiti Community Trust and the other is Lumby Fund. So these are the ones that I'm most familiar with, and they have a pretty strong record. But I'll follow you and say there's people who you should not donate to. And one way to look at that is you can look at their reports and see what percentage of the money that they get in goes to the actual projects or to personnel. A lot of NGOs, a lot of their funding goes to personnel and then comes back to their home country. So the Red Cross, right, is that we know the notoriousness of them, but they actually are not alone. And one way to track who to not, we can say who to give to, but if you hear about one, you can check their annual reports and see where their money goes. And if it doesn't go where you want it to go, give it to somebody else who will do the work. And Haiti Community Trust has branched out, so it's not just in Port-au-Prince. I guess I'm from the Republic of Port-au-Prince, but it's not from Port-au-Prince. They've spread out quite a bit too. So those that have made it outside of the capital also could be helpful.
Thank you. And I feel what I'm also hearing is, the interest from all the panelists in making sure that organizations that do have some of that power are organizing together and speaking in the same voice. The final question, and then we're going to close, is around reparations. There were a number of questions in the Q&A box about what kinds of reparations should be paid to Haiti, and should those reparations be paid from France? Should there be more open immigration policies to France, for example? What is the ideal reparations program?
Before we go deep into the reparation, I just want to make one clarification. We always say Haiti is special for many different reasons. When we address France, there is reparation in the sense of reparation that all people of African descent, including the United States, people were enslaved specifically in the United States, and reparation for Haiti. But for France, we had to actually pay. So there is a repayment and reparation. So I just want to make sure that we clarify that in the United States, unlike Haiti unlike other places, we had to pay the former enslavers. So now they owe that repayment and reparation in the sense of what we are talking about every day. So that's all I wanted to share on that.
Thank you. Well, maybe that's the best word to close on. And I believe that Essence from SJI is going to close us out. But thank you so much to all of our panelists, particularly our panelists joining from Haiti directly. And so thankful to all the participants who are still with us. Thank you for bringing the questions, making the time, and prioritizing this. Over to you, Essence, to close us out.
Thank you so much to everyone for such a powerful, rich discussion. We have shared a lot with our audiences, and I'm so glad that folks have been able to stay with us through this conversation. For anyone who was not able to stay through the whole entire event or really want to share this information, this video will be on our YouTube page. We'll also share it with EqualHealth and the Haitian Bridge Alliance so that it can also be shared on their pages and platforms. It's really important that this conversation is really amplified through today and beyond. And also it's important to us that this is about deepening our understanding and also learning more about these topics. And Haiti has such an extensive history, and there's a lot that contributed to the current state today in the current conditions. And so we want people to be able to have resources. Also for educators who are teaching about what is taking place, if they want to also have an international lens in their classroom and to uplift the struggles of Haiti and find ways to support, that we developed a resource document for everyone to share. I'm going to share my screen just so you can get a brief look at it. The document is basically a collection of resources developed by all of the organizations that put on this event today, and you can click through to understand, the history of Haiti. There are audio, video links, podcast links, various publications and news outlets have contributed to covering the issues of Haiti. And we want people to be able to have these resources to deepen their understanding, but also to just share out. So we would love for you to share this out, share it with teachers, share it with folks who don't really understand what's taking place and how it got to this. And then also we included the mutual aid campaign as well, so that you were like, I heard them talking about a way to support. I may not have grabbed some things out of the chat, but we have them here. We'll also add some additional ones that we spoke about today. And so this is going to be shared in the chat again before we close out. It'll also be on our website. And if you're following us at the Social Justice Initiative, if you're following any of our accounts, you can reach out so we can add you to our list, as we will email the video and also these resources to anyone who wants it, anyone who's interested, and we will follow up. Thank you so much to all our panelists. I really appreciate you all. I I really appreciate all that you've shared and the courageousness in which you also put a spotlight on Haiti and the struggles that the Haiti people are experiencing, but also the ways we can all get involved. So I appreciate this event today. The conversation must continue. All eyes must continue to be on Haiti, and we're all doing the work to make sure that happens. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of the evening. Take care.